What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here. Thank you guys so much for coming back for another video here in Central North Carolina. Happy Memorial Day to you all, to all my veterans that are out there watching this video. I know it's not Veterans Day, I know it's Memorial Day. We're remembering those that gave their life for the sake of our country. But I want to thank all of you veterans like myself. I've mentioned on the channel many times, I'm a veteran of the North Carolina National Guard, Army National Guard, been deployed several times. I know there's many of you that may have done even more for our nation, going overseas several times, fighting for your country. Maybe you're not deployed, but you put on the uniform, you gave time, you separated from your family. I just want to say thank you so much for your support for our nation. I love this country we call America. It is far from perfect, and we need God in America more than ever before. But we just take time today to remember those that gave their life for our nation. We have the liberties, we have the freedoms that we have today in this country. Though we have a lot of problems in America, we have these things because of those that put on the uniform, that went to foreign soil, that died, that gave their life. We'll remember those in Pearl Harbor and Hawaii that were attacked by the Japanese, that gave their life unexpectedly that day, heroically, to save their buddies, their battle buddies. I hope you're enjoying your holiday today. I don't have much lawn care wise to get into today, but I do want to do something different. You may have saw by the title. I want to go through some of the comments for the last couple videos and just read them and explain them, and just go through your comments, your suggestions, your words, and we kind of discuss it here on the channel. So as we get into it, I'm just going to go through a couple here, and let me know in the comments below on this video, do you enjoy this? Do you enjoy Mr. Ferguson calling out your comments and then responding to it on camera? I try to, as I mentioned, I always try to go through and comment on all the comments the best that I can. Sometimes I'm playing golf with my dad. I'm out with the family like we were this past weekend, up at the lake. We were on the boat. You know, I had a video come out Friday and I didn't really, you know, there's times when I can't comment. So some of these I didn't get a chance on Friday to comment because me and my wife was out sleeping in a tent, the girls and stuff. And so we had a great Memorial Day weekend. I'm recording this on Sunday, but our Friday and our Saturday was spectacular. We had a great church service, and looking forward to resting, relaxing on Monday, remembering the fallen, remembering those that gave their life for our country. So getting back to the video quickly, the last video we talked about was investigating, or my trouble spots, if you recall. So some of these comments will be involved in that, and if not, we'll make mention of that. So the first one, and again, let me say before we get into this video, I am the worst person to pronounce your usernames. So if I screw your name up, I completely apologize. Unless it's something very basic, I may screw it up. So the first one here we got, let me hit read more here, is from William. I see him all the time in the comment section. William Conlon. It was 2 days ago. He says, Mr. F, he says, I know that the front of your yard by the road has been a trouble spot for you. You've tried a lot of different grass, so you could be right about what is under it all. But regardless, it still looks dry. So just a thought, try using a soaker hose along the road, and see if that helps. You won't be spending a lot of money on water, as it will be more concentrated. Just a thought. So William, thank you very much. I see you in the comments all the time. I appreciate that, William. You get the conversation going down there. So yeah, what we were talking about is, if you've seen some of our past videos, up at the road, we have what I always refer to as the bank. As I mentioned, I think in the trouble spot video, I talked about how it doesn't seem to be whatever grass I use there, whether it's GCI that I've put there, GCI turf type tall fescue, we put GCI cool blue there. This year we put Jonathan Green solar green, which is a Texas bluegrass drought resistant grass. It's starting to die off a little bit by the road. So what I had mentioned in that video, I think I know what he's talking about, is that it doesn't seem to be what seed I put there underneath the dirt seems to be that what is knocking this grass back a little bit. And so I think that's what he's talking about. Now, William, when you talk about try using a soaker hose along the rows, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know what that means, so I'd have to get you to clarify on that. So maybe you can do it on this video. I do try to take my hand hose, and I'll drag that up when I'm doing my hand watering by my mailbox and along that strip. Sometimes I will hit the edge of the road, and mainly the edge of the road and inside the bank a little bit. I will hit that and hand water that, not just with my sprinkler. Normally when I do my watering with my sprinklers, what I do is I'll set my sprinklers on the edge, just about maybe a foot from the concrete, and my sprinkler will go all the way forward and it'll stop right before it, and so that water drops right on the edge, and I try not to waste it into the road. So as far as the soaker hose, not sure if that's what you're talking about. You may want to comment on this one and let me know. And also, while I read these comments, let me tell you, I've not went through all these and read them, so if I mispronounce it, if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. This is all live as I read this. So from Al, Seja, I've seen you in the comments as well, Al, so thanks so much. He says, yep, 2.5 for my backyard fescue, looks great. So I think what he's referring to in that comment, he's saying 2.5 inches is what he's cutting his backyard fescue. I made mention I had it at 4 inches for the last couple mows, but here in the last 2 mows, I've went down to 3.5. And so I think 3.5 is the best looking for my fescue right now. I like the way it looks. And so here he's just basically saying he's got his at 2.5. I think that's an inch too low for me. I want to keep it on the taller side for summer. Even today, we're up in the high 80s. We've been having lots of rain this past week, which is great for the lawn, but how long will that last? Well, we need that rain to continue to come in. So I want to keep it on the long side. So my grass is staying at 3.5 until I see like I need to raise it up, or unless I miss a mow being out of town or something like that. Next comment, Mowing Matt. I don't know if I've seen Mowing Matt in the comment before, but he says, I have tall fescue and I cut mine at 2.5, and there is one area where my mower cuts at 1 inch and it looks awesome, kind of like velvet or carpet. Mowing Matt, thanks so much for commenting there. We'll go into the next one. It looks like Brett Campus. He says calcium, sulfur, or lime to neutralize the salt near the road might help. Thanks, I appreciate that. Brett, we are using, as far as calcium, we talked about the cal-tid. We've sprayed that all over the yard. It comes from GCI Academy, GCI Turf. So the calcium part to strengthen the cell walls, we're trying that. Sulfur, there is a lot of sulfur. I believe in the, I want to say green fight, maybe there's sulfur in that. So we've done that. And lime to neutralize the salt near the road. Lime, we do lime in the yard as far as adjusting our pH. I've not done like heavily or specifically by the road. So I appreciate your comment. That's something to look at as well. The next one I see is from Don Klein. I've seen that Virginia symbol on the football field there before. So Don, thank you so much for commenting yet again. He says, have you tried taking a soil test on these spots? It could help you identify if you have a localized nutritional issue. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and have experienced any real disease issues just yet. I am deliberately using more organic type fertilizer to try and hold my nitrogen down. I am also using silicone sprays every 2 weeks to strengthen the grass against disease and stress. Before I treated the grass, but this year I am paying more attention to the soil by trying to feed my microbial population, earthworms and such. I use monthly SP1 classic TNO to prevent compaction and add feed existing microbes. RGS and CK are also important in my monthly sprays. Don, thank you so much. Don knows a little bit about grass, I would say, based off that comment. We're going to talk about soil test very soon, Don, so you're on top of it. While this, actually it's behind me. By the way, update just as I read this, this area back here is already looking great. One update I can tell you, Don, that I did do is right before we got a rain on Friday, when one of the lines came through, I took one of those $1 propiconazole bio advanced propiconazole bottles that is a hose sprayer, and I did spray this area right behind me, which was the 2 trouble spots that I showed you near the bank over here in the backyard. It looks way better today. There's less browning. It looks like the color's coming back. I believe it's beginning to grow back. So I did that just to be sure. After $1 for that bottle, hey, I think it was worth it. And so we'll see, but everything does seem to be looking great. But thank you, Don, for that comment. We'll have more on soil test, maybe even on the Wednesday video. I did just, with my daughter, come out here and collect the samples. I did do some in the areas that were the trouble spots, not specifically the trouble spots. I did it for everywhere in the yard. So we'll have more on the soil test soon, because I want to see what is protein putting in and what's it looking like. So more on that soon. Don, thank you so much for commenting. We'll do a few more here. Tim Jackson. Tim, thank you so much for commenting. Have you checked for grubs and other insects? Simple 5-gallon pail of water and drown an area slowly and see what crawls out. You might have something in the thatch layer. Tim, thank you so much for the comment. We have done this. We've treated for grubs already this year. We did the Grub X prevention, because I always miss that every year. And so as I mentioned, when we were back here replanting one of our natural fence trees, we found what looked like a baby grub there, and I said, oh great, it's time, we need to go ahead and do our treatment. So while we was at Walmart or Lowe's one day, we got the Scott's Grub X prevention bag. Remember, there's 24-hour killer, then there's the prevention, and so we put down the prevention, and so we've got that spread all throughout the yard. I've not seen anything since. As we dig in the soil, as I've been out here in the lawn, I've not seen a lot of that in the lawn. So we have put down, we have treated for grubs. I've done the gallon, the drowning test that you're talking about. I did that specifically last year. When I started to lose the lawn, I thought, is this army worms? Is this something? I began to do research, like, why is this knocking off? Why is my grass dying off? Let me do the 5-gallon, drown test, like what you're talking about. I have done that. It didn't produce anything. Nothing came out of the ground. So yeah, we may check that again this year. We've got one from Brian Felver. He commented on the previous video to the investigation one, the one where we talked about oxystrobin and propiconazole and putting that down in the lawn. He said, your stressed areas, I would hit heavily with humic 12 and RGS. You will be amazed how they will come around. Brian Felver, 4 days ago. Thank you so much, Brian. We do have some humic 12 in my shed. I've not yet put it down. I wanted to do it before the storm the other day. Didn't get a chance to do it. I did the propiconazole instead in some of the back spots that looked rough, but I do plan on hitting some humic again this year. We've laid off the biostimulants this year. I've not seen a big difference in the lawn, maybe just a little bit, but I don't know. Once we start applying them again, I'll be able to see, was there a huge difference. I know biostimulants is mainly what's in our soil and our dirt, and that's where the importance is as far as what our grass looks like. But Brian, thank you so much for that comment. It says, where you get the drill attachment mixer from AC. Thank you for commenting, AC. You can get that at Home Depot or Lowe's. Go into the paint section and you'll see it was on a bottom shelf, the last one I got. I had a previous one that was orange and it's got that little fan looking tip and it broke off somehow. Maybe the sun dried it or something, and I had to go to Home Depot, got another one. So look in the paint section, and if not, say, hey, I need a drill paint stirrer, and one of the associates should be able to help you. Thank you, AC, for commenting. I use that thing every time I tank mix some stuff. That drill, he's talking about the thing that's attached to your drill, and it's a paint stirrer. Look in the paint section, you should find that. It's very handy, excuse me. And then it looks like we got a bunch of old videos here. I got some comments. I'm trying to look for something more recent. There's one here where I messed up and I said, don't make this mistake. And it was talking about the hydrotane that I put down and it never got watered in. It looks like Mr. Alexander commented. He said, what about the granular formula of hydrotane with high potassium 0048? So Mr. Alexander, thank you so much. He's talking about there is out there hydrotane in a granular form. I think it's a little more expensive and it don't cover a whole lot of square footage, but the math may work out where the liquid is a little bit cheaper. The granular may be a better option is what he's advising here. So he's saying spread the granulars and then it can get watered in whenever water does come. You don't have to worry about drying on the blade. So if you're like me and you don't want to do it in the rain and you mess up and you're like, I ain't got the money to spend on this hydrotane and screw this up, then the granulars may be the best option for you to go. Just be prepared. I think it only covers 5,000 square feet, maybe per bag, maybe a little less. I'm not sure. So that's what he's referred to. But Mr. Alexander, thank you so much for that comment. And we'll do one more. I'm just going to hit scroll wherever it stops. Okay, this one is on comparing the Jonathan Green and the GCI turf grass video that we did not too long ago. This is from Frank Porterfield. Frank, thank you so much for watching and commenting. He says, I love my GCI Cool Blue, but due to pricing and availability and the desire to try something new, I've decided to go with Triple Threat Plus this coming fall, sold by Southern Seed Inc. in Middlesex, North Carolina. I think it is basically assembled for our area, Central NC, through a lot of testing by the Pure Seed testing people. You may want to look at it and at least consider it. I know old Ollie Poole and Paul Outlaw, Paul's Prime Cuts, have used it and liked it. I bought 4 bags a few months ago because I figured it would be scarce and likely more expensive come late summer, so I'm excited for the fall. It's already $20 per bag more expensive now than what I paid a few months ago. Anyways, your yard looks great, but I do notice a difference in color as you stated. I'm curious how Jonathan Green would hold up overall in the NC heat and humidity. Again, that's from Frank Porterfield. Clearly he's a North Carolinian. Pete, thank you so much. I am definitely, and that we'll end on those comments right there because of time. But I am, as I mentioned previously on one of the previous videos, maybe it was the Jonathan Green versus GCI video, that I, as a YouTuber, you know, I'm gonna play around with things. I'm gonna not do biostimulants. I'm gonna do the biostimulants. I'm gonna do hydrotane. I'm gonna show you guys, is hydrotane making a difference or not? I'm gonna play with seed. I've done GCI now for 3 years. In the very first year I did GCI Turf Tall Fescue, we did GCI Cool Blue. This year we went back to the Turf Type Tall Fescue, and we had some of the Spreader Elite, and then we did a little bit of the Dense Shade Mix on the edge, and we did some Solar Green on the road. So this is the most mix of seed that I've done is this year, because the first 2 years was the very first 2 years that Mr. Ferguson had ever played with premium grass seed, weed-free grass seed, and I wanted to see, you know, GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue versus Cool Blue. You know, what did that look like? So I'm gonna play around with seed this year. I don't know what I'm gonna go with. When I decide, when I look, it'll probably be closer to the fall, because I'm gonna be late to the game, and I may end up paying more. Inflation is through the roof crazy. Don't get me started on all of that. I believe some of this stuff that with gas prices and everything is absolutely intentional. We can debate about that later, but I am definitely not going with GCI seed this year. I'm not going to say that I'm going with Jonathan Green. I do love how the Dense Shade Mix has done in these back areas, and I think it was a wise choice, especially this Dense Shade Mix we planted over here in March is still thriving and doing good, because it's in like I mean, even right now, as the sun begins to set and get behind these trees, I've got so much leaf cover and shade back there. It is totally protected. It only gets sun in the morning. So we're going to go with a different seed, so tune in for that, and we'll find out from there. And I've got tons of pictures of this GCI lawn. I personally believe that the GCI Cool Blue, man, it's striped like no other. It's striped even better than this lawn, in my opinion. But the Kentucky Bluegrass, I just don't have enough money and water to keep that bluegrass with the water that it needs, even with hydrotane. It just seemed like it stressed out super fast in the year. It was about this time. I'm not seeing that as much here. I think we had a little bit of brown patch trying to pop up over here with a lot of late night rains here recently. But anyways, to all of you that comment, thank you so much. I need to do these type videos more. Please just go down there in the comment section. Yeah, more of this in the future. I want you to read my comment, Mr. Ferguson, or whatever, and we'll do more of these. Maybe we'll do them, you know, once or twice a month. And I want to let your opinion be told and be heard out loud, so that we can discuss it, and then we can discuss that even further in the comment section. So thank you guys for watching this video. For those that made it to the end, let me know below. I appreciate it. Happy Memorial Day for myself and my family. Stay safe. Hope you're not too sunburnt. Hope your lawns are doing well. God bless you. We'll see you on the next one.